Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, beautiful people. Let's groove on in. Come on, come feed the ducks with me. It's just gonna be us. Brandon's preparing for his fight. I asked him last night if he just wanted to sit this one out and start today, so of course he accepted. All right, who do we have in with us as we groove on in? Let's see. Miss Brenda says, good everything, everyone. Happy Saturday. Miss Brenda, are you grooving it on in or grooving it on out? Hey. All right. Who else is out there with us? I see you. Let me know you're there. Say good morning as we groove on in. The song is Feeding the Ducks, but we say we're feeding life, right? You got to take it, y'all. You got to own it. You got to take responsibility for how you feel, who you are, how you will embrace this day. All right. That's how we groove it on in. I haven't had my coffee either, Miss Brenda, this morning, so I'm right with you. Hey, I got the water today. I will have my coffee, though. All right. Let's let the ducks go on back in. All right. Great morning to you guys, everybody. Thank you for, if you did that, if you grooved on in, thank you. I hope it adds some flavor to your day, right? So I'm going to get us in and get us out, I hope. This one is a good one. This one is a good one for sure. I feel like, I lived this yesterday. So I set this up late last night, later than I typically like to. But once again, y'all, God is, I don't know, he's just present. Not that he's not always been, maybe I'll say I'm present, that I'm showing up. I'm not ahead of God. I'm not beside him, behind him. I'm right there. As close as I could get to him. And in doing so, it feels like, oh man, like he's there too, if that's a good way to say it. Like they say, if God seems far away, then check your move, where you moved, not God. So God is doing something within my family, the family, right? And, anytime God comes in to clean up, or we allow him to, you guys, it's difficult. I was telling Jimmy last night, I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. We were kind of talking about some things that are going on. Well, I kind of asked his opinion of something that's going on and went on yesterday, and I was about to respond, maybe react, I don't know. But he was like, don't. It's just not the time, and certainly not by text. So then I went to set this day up, this passage up, and wow, it spoke to me. So let's see who else is out here with us. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. Thank you for that. I paused because I almost called you about this situation last night. So he says everything doesn't require a response. I get it. But I think too that you can allow some things to go on for so long that you may find yourself reacting because you've not did it due diligence by responding in a healthy way, right? Certainly probably not by text. Um, and so I'm glad that God put on my heart to just say, hey Jamie, let me ask you about this. And I kind of recap the situation the day. And after thinking and listening to what he said, he was right. And I was like, and I backed the entire text out. And this person still just tried to keep it going and moving, but I didn't buy into it, because it would do neither one of us any good. It wouldn't have been. And I'm glad I was able to see that. So, Big Mike, I'll call you on that today. We'll talk about some things today. So let's get on in so we can get on out. Let me go to my daily motivations. Why are we here? Why are we here, you guys? Why do we come to the barbecue? I think we're at 227 days in. And for most of you all, well, Miss Brenda and Mike, for sure, I think you guys have been here, maybe missed one or two, if that. But I think you've been here just about, all those days. So daily motivations for African American success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead you to the achievement of your true goals. You guys, it's so important that you know the difference between your true goals versus someone else's true goals, or the goals that you have for yourself that are not your true goals, right? So, this will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead you to the achievement of your true goals in 365 short but powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, who is also the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, to cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes, but also wise enough to know when to say no, and when to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans, such as, but certainly not limited to, Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Gout, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. But what it teaches will last a lifetime. And Black Enterprise says that each affirmation in this valuable and thought provoking book takes only a few minutes to read, but it is worthy of more time for contemplation. And again, that is from Black Enterprise. So let's jump right into this one. Let me get everything out. Big Mike says, I have a new person that will begin to listen to your podcast tomorrow morning. All right, all right, all right. Hey, if anybody's interested in tagging along with me and co-hosting tomorrow, please feel free to hit me up and we will make it happen. Right? Trent, conversation with Trent. You guys know he'll start with me on Monday. So he'll be here Monday through, I think, the time that Brandon comes back with us. So let's get everything out there. I'm just going to put it on out there, you guys. All right. So here we go. Our topic for September 14th, day 227 says, or is, not just another pretty face. And our quote comes from Kenya Moore, and it says, everything comes from within. The beauty is within me. Everything comes from within. The beauty is within me. And that is a quote from Kenya Moore. And our passage reads, and Kenya Moore is Miss USA for 1992, for those of you who do not know. And our passage reads, judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye met, it shall be measured to you again. A study of this verse and the application of its inner truth represents the real key to harmonious relationships. A man and a woman had been corresponding by mail several years before they fell in love. They agreed to meet at the airport. Since they had never seen each other, they devised a plan that would help them recognize each other. The woman was to wear a green scarf, a green hat, and a green carnation pin to her coat. When the man got off the plane, he immediately began searching for his pen pal. Suddenly, he saw a woman with a green scarf, hat, and a carnation, and his heart sank. She was one of the homeliest women he had ever seen. He was tempted to board the plane without approaching her. Nevertheless, he walked over to the woman, smiled, and introduced himself. Immediately, the woman said, "What's all of this about? I don't know who you are." That woman over there, she convinced me, she continued and gave me $10 to wear this outfit. So she continued, the lady continued, and she said to him, "The woman over there gave me $10 to wear this outfit." When the man looked over to where she pointed, he saw one of the most beautiful women he had ever seen in his life. After approaching her, the woman explained, "All my life, men have courted me because of my beauty. I want someone to love me, not just for my outward appearances, but for what I am on the inside. If you're going to judge by appearances, be sure to look at the heart." I'm going to read that one again, and I'm going to change a few things there. If you're going to judge by appearances, be sure to look at my heart. If you're going to judge by appearances, be sure to look at your heart, their heart, right? And the affirmation for today, I'll get it out there. I will not be trapped by outward appearances. I will look beyond to the deeper possibilities. And I'll read that again as well, or this again. I will not be trapped by outward appearances. I will look beyond the deeper possibilities, right? So let's break this one down, you guys. Let's break this one. Miss Brenda, Mike, I know you guys have the book. Did you read this one before? If so, let me know your thoughts. But I want to dive in first to, let's go to not just another pretty face. What does that mean? We've heard that a lot, you guys. My perception, and typically what this means is someone, pretty, they say pretty is as pretty does, right? Have you ever known someone or been around someone that you thought was beautiful? Like outward appearance is beautiful. Dress nice, look nice, smell good, all of that. Got all the things outside, right? But the more you're around them, they lose that, or you lose that sight or that perception of them because of their attitude, how they are, how they treat people, right? How they react to life or whatever it may be. And so when you say not just another pretty face, you're saying that there's something deeper. There's something that makes this woman or this man more beautiful than what I can see. And it adds to the beauty that you see outwardly. And on the flip side of that, you may see someone that's not so attractive to you, but their spirit, their inward world, I won't say his world, their inward spirit, man, it just awakens them. it adds to their outward, what you see outwardly, right? And truth be told, we'd rather have the latter of the two, because I'm going to tell you, a pretty face, whether it's on a man or a woman, a pretty woman, a handsome man, after a while, they just become human. You don't see what maybe attracted them to you initially, because at a point you start to look deeper, you start to see more than just the pretty face. You start to see who they are, how they are, and again, you see them as human beings with flaws, right? And so doing that initial stage, it's like the new car. It's not just a pretty new car. It's a car that you have to change the tires, rotate the tires, you know. Sometimes you keep them long enough, you even have to take out the motor, change the transmission. You have to do something, right? The same with the pretty face, the same with any face. It's life. So looks and the yeah, I'm gonna say it. Looks and the booty and all that other stuff, that you think, wow, man, that attracts you, that pulls you in. If that's what pulls you in, what do you have when they fade away? I like chicken, I like fish, I like crab legs, but let me tell you, I was eating so many crab legs to the point where I got to the point, oh, I don't know if I still like these. It wasn't that I didn't still like them, I just was eating them so much. And that's the same with the pretty face, right? Sometimes you just want the sides and not the meat, right? Sometimes we see meat as the main course, but what's better for us? The veggies and all of that, right? So, and you think about the quote we've used here before, and I hate that it says a woman. So I'm just going to say people can make someone who collects trash, and no pun intended on that, because we've had that conversation as well. This is just for just for the sake of seeing a bit deeper, because truth be told, the world doesn't, not all, but a lot of people, if you met a guy, like I've said before, if you met a guy and you thought he was just coming by to collect the trash, you would look at him differently. But if you found out that he owned the company and just had to fill in because he had too many workers out, you might look at him differently, right? Ladies, let's just keep it real, right? Let's just keep it real. Why? Because we form our lives out based on an outwardly world. What is the quote we had that day? Some people dream of great accomplishments while others stay awake and they do them. They stay awake and they do them. And doing you hopefully comes from an internal place and space that helps you to not see the trash collector as a nobody, as a less important than somebody, right? That you see all people the same, and you don't judge them by what they do, what they wear, where they live, but who they are and how they show up in that. I was having a conversation. This had to do with what I started talking about. And the person, ended, well, they said throughout the entire conversation back and forth, I'm not going to change who I am for anybody. And sometimes that is the problem, because sometimes you're not even to change who you are for God, the person that you are saying that you are referring this to, right? And sometimes it's not about changing who you are, but sometimes how you are. It gets deeper. Who you are is a relationship with how you are. And that's what I love about the life languages, y'all. It's not just about how you are, who you are, but how you are wired. Why do you respond to people, places, things, and love in the way that you do? Right? Because we should always be in consideration of Not just who we are, but how. How? How do you show up? What's your attitude like? When people are outside of your presence, what have you left on them? Have you left a sense of peace or chaos? Do you bring peace or do you bring chaos? And that's why it's so important to not just be that pretty face. Because God knows we have enough pretty faces. But if we had some pretty spirits, souls, if we had love within our hearts, see, we couldn't look at the trash collector and see different or differently, right? We could not do that. Our quote says, everything comes from within. The beauty is within me. The beauty is within me. And that goes back to me saying, you can see someone who's beautiful. And I've seen it. And their attitude is so bad that you don't even want to be around the beauty. The beauty or the booty. I'm talking to my man right now. And you women as well. Because women, sometimes we pick them by, oh man, what kind of car they drive, what they wear. Totally miss out, or how they look. And then it comes a time when the good looks ain't even enough for you. It ain't even enough. And everything we need, you guys, is within us. Why? I say because God created us. He created us. God makes no mistakes. And in creating you, He provided all that you needed or need inside of you. The problem comes or stems from when we decide to look outwardly, and we look outwardly based on our perception of our lives, what has happened to us, what has not happened to us, right? Has or have not happened to us. And then we start to judge ourselves in a sense, right? But it gets tricky here because oftentimes to get out of the judging ourselves situation or to make ourselves feel better, we cast that judgment upon others, which takes the responsibility from us. It leaves us in a place where we're not responsible for who we become not responsible, or we think we're not responsible for who we are and how we show up in the world, right? And to say everything is within us, it just means that power. You have the power. You are stronger than you know. And you have the ability to create your own reality. You have the ability to mold your life in the way that God created you. But as soon as you step outside of that and try to create your world based on an outer world, or create your inner world based on an outer world, you're in trouble. And that's where most of us have met up with ourselves and the fight begins. Because the greatest fight you have or that you will do in this life is with yourself, right? You miss out on the wisdom, the discernment of knowing that you have the ability, the God-given ability, right, to attain your desires, your goals, and to free and release yourself from the distorted perception of the self you created. And from there, you guys, casting the judgment on others, like I said, is in my opinion, is an avoidance of or a denying of yourself. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Of a denying of where yourself, you've allowed yourself to go and to be. So you no longer take responsibility of yourself, and you're able to do that because you avoid, by your judging others, right? you no longer, as I said, take responsibility for your actions and for who you are, or for not wanting to be just another pretty face, just another woman, just another man, right? With the big car, with the big house, with all the stuff outside, right? And responsibility means, you guys, it's just the ability to respond, but first to yourself. While you're trying to respond to someone else's life and judge their life, have you first responded to the self that you've created, the ego, right? The ego. How do you respond? Do you respond or do you react? Look at it this way, you guys. What good would it do, or how would it look for you to build a house, buy a house, whatever, rent a house, and put all the furniture on the outside? Everything on the outside, and that's where you live. Vision that picture. To build a house, put everything on the outside of the house, and that's where you live. What does that look like? What does that vision look like? All right, let me get a few comments, you guys. I'm sorry I got going there. So Miss Brenda and Big Mike says, I did not. Well, Miss Brenda says, no, I did not. And then Mike says, I did not either. And that was, I did not read the passage before today. And Mike says, that's like my wife in spaghetti. She's ate so much spaghetti when she was a child that she does not eat it now. Mike, you and I can actually attest to that as well, man. We ate a lot of spaghetti as well. And you know why, guys? Because spaghetti went far. You know, you could buy a pack of spaghettis, and if you break it up enough, you break those strings up into fours, you get a lot of spaghetti, right? You know, wisdom. I don't know if y'all ever thought about that, but you take a whole pack of spaghetti and you break that baby up. Man, you got all the noodles you need. And if you need to add to your sauce, that's what ketchup is for, and water, right? That's thinking. That's the kind of woman or man you need that can multiply and get an answer that does not match. You got 2 times 2, right? 2 packages of noodles, right? They say it equals 4. But when you break those noodles up by 8 each one, when you take a few of them and you crack them 4 times, yo, that's a lot of noodles. And you got to have a special kind of man or a woman to know how to make some things work to the next paycheck, right? Who knows how to supply the need when the need is there, right? So Big Mike says we have to find ourselves before we can find any purpose. Nothing else matters until you begin to heal and take care of self first. We're no good to no one if we're not good to ourselves. And truth be told, we've not really learned or have been taught how to be good to ourselves. The way we see this world was pretty much based on our our ancestors' value of themselves, and we know where that comes from. Now, some of them, of course, Frederick Douglass says, y'all can have my body, but my mind belongs to me. My mind belongs to me. And your mind, no matter what kind of education, and also to not just be that pretty face, it means there's a sense of intelligence that comes with you. You know how we used to say about the blondes, you see a blonde and you automatically think they're dumb, and then you meet one who's naturally blonde but has nothing to do with dumb, very intelligent, right? So there is an alternative to everything perception that we have in this world. There is. There's a few more things I wanted to. Harmonious relationship. It says a study of this verse, meaning the judge, and I think that's Matthew. I think I pulled that out. Is that Matthew, guys? Matthew 7. where it talks about judge not that ye not be judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye met, it shall be measured to you. Y'all get that? And if you believe that, then you might just see this morning that in your judging, you're also judged. But when you start to respond to life and not react based on false perception, false realities that come from a false self, then you realize if I'm judging you, I'm judging me. If I'm lying to you, I'm lying to me, and vice versa. It gets to a point where you begin to rest, or it should get to a point where you begin to rest in God as you wait on God. I had to say this to someone yesterday. I'm waiting on God. Like, are you waiting on him in him? Or are you waiting on him in you, in your ego? Because there is a difference. There's a difference. Y'all, I'm here to tell you, and I could tell you from my own very experience. There was a time where I'm thinking I'm waiting on God, in God. Yeah, right. Now, Tim, you just want what you want. You want to do what you want. You want God to answer you when you want the answer. And when you want it and what you want it with, whether it's right or wrong in God's eyes, that's what you want. But when you let yourself go and be in God's presence without any judgment upon yourself, and you allow God's speed in your life, for God to lead you, right? No matter what it looks like to people, because you can't satisfy a people who ain't satisfied with themselves. You can't love a people who don't know what love is, who is afraid if love approached them and attached itself to them, they would see it in a negative way. Do you know that you have people out here that you will try to love and they will give it back to you because it feels wrong, right? And all they are is the pretty face. And in most cases, it's the pretty face that they've painted on. I was having a conversation with a coworker who saw the same thing that I saw, but on a different day. I worked the fair one day. I don't know what it was, but I'm looking at all these young babies, y'all, with makeup this thick. They even had the eyelashes on. They couldn't even hold their eyes up. I'm talking about blushed up, lipstick up. And I would think I saw enough fathers there for a father to say, what are we doing? When does a talent show or dance show for a 7-year-old involves makeup? Aren't they pretty enough? As a child, can we not see the beauty in them? We have to make them up too. That's where we are. And we do it to them because we do it to us. The mother pats the cake, the makeup on the girl because she does it to herself to feel better, to look better, to be seen differently, better, right? That's what we're doing. We just want to be the pretty face. We feel like we need to be just the pretty face. And then you lose sight of all of your intelligence, everything else that you have to offer. That when truth be told, and when the relationship, hopefully the harmonious relationship, begins to simmer, and that's all you have, it's enough. My girl with the beautiful attitude and spirit who loves people, because if she loves people, she's going to love me. If he loves people, he's going to love, if that is his natural instinct, characteristic, right? Then don't you know he's going to love you even the more? Don't you know she's going to love you even the more? There's this quote I saw. She loved him, but he didn't. And we can say he loved her, but she didn't. Y'all get that? He loved her, but she didn't love herself. So if she doesn't love herself, she can't receive his love. And so you create all this friction and mess to get in between the relationship. Because truth be told, what it is you may believe that you're just another pretty face or just not, and that you're not enough. That you're not enough, you guys. So the harmonious relationship, that's basically, you guys, just I would say a relationship of understanding, whether it's oh my gosh, this was in the conversation yesterday too. It's about understanding people, not about your being right or wrong, or you're being right all the time. Even if you do love God, you have to remember there was a time where you weren't where you are now, but you still loved God. So why not let people get through their space with their pretty face? Because truth be told, I think we're all beautiful. Haven't you seen? I hate to say this, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I remember saying about a few of the celebrities that I didn't think they were all that good looking, maybe. And after a few little dollars and they clean up a little bit, they start to look a little different. But I noticed that a lot of those who started to look a little different, I think they started to feel differently about themselves. So it came outwardly, right? Because not all of them met the criteria of, they maybe started out not looking so good to me and then ended up did. Not all of them made that. And so as I started to process and think, it's not where they are now, it's who they became during the process. And sometimes we gain who we are and we change how we are, and sometimes we lose who we are, right? We lose who we are in the midst of getting more, right? And we change how we are for the worse, right? Rather than for the better. So that harmony or harmonic relationship, you guys, is just about understanding someone else's truth or their perception of life based on where they have come from. Maybe that's what keeps them from being or seeing themselves with a pretty face, right? And we do this, we see them. I think it talks about beyond. I will look beyond to the deeper possibilities, not just in yourself, because there's going to be always something that you see that maybe you will see it and think it doesn't align up, right? And maybe it's not supposed to right now. And so don't get caught up. Don't think that God doesn't see and know. It's like I said yesterday, when I was in conversation with God about a decision, some decisions that I need to make. And I'm talking to God saying, I don't want to go left and you meant for me to go right. I don't. But sometimes, y'all, we just don't know. And all you can do is make the best choice that you can make with the information that you have. But what I heard this time, and y'all, I've had this same conversation with God over and over again about different things and different times and seasons in my life, to where I don't want to go left or right. I don't, unless you're sending me left. It's not always like that, right? It cannot be, because God is in the business of growing us. And to grow, you first have to be planted, because where are you growing from? Where are you growing from? Are you growing? Are you growing through stuff or just going through it? But the answer I got this time, and maybe I've gotten the answer before, but I just wasn't in the place I am now to be able to hear. God said, I already knew you. I know when you're going to go left. I already knew every time you were going to go another direction. But what we miss and what I heard was, I'm already there when you go left, because I already knew. And I said, I will never leave or forsake you. Now, my perception of that my definition of that has been a little off, because sometimes we think because we are growing through something, and I say growing, but we think sometimes we are going through something because of something we did or did not do, right? And a lot of times it has nothing to do with us. Most times it has nothing to do with us. God is doing a lot of things through one thing. He's growing a lot of people through many things. And some of those things start or seem to start in your life, but they don't stop there. If they even start there. Right? So we got to be more than just a pretty anything, unless it's a pretty seeking person of God. And my brother Mike mentioned, where did I see this? We have to find ourselves before, we can find our purpose. I'm going to say, Mike, we have to know what our purpose is in order to find ourselves. Because I think we all have a universal purpose. And I thank God for my spiritual mom again, Miss Earlene Edwards, who has fed me a lot of nuggets, a lot, right? And I feel so blessed as I think about how she even had an opportunity to be in my life and to stay in my life, because the odds was against this relationship that God knew I would need, right? So he took what looked like the least of them, meaning the least person that I would have this kind of relationship with, based on the relationships that bought it, right? Where her son now says that I'm his sister baby mama. He's gonna get me for that. Yeah, so he now calls me his sister. The odds of that, because I see his mom as my mom. The odds of keeping a relationship with someone's mother, the odds of seeing that even in God allowing that relationship, he knew that I was going to need the mother of that man in my life in a season, in seasons. So she told me our purpose is to glorify the kingdom of God. It makes it, see, and when you get that, when you pull that one in and you let it simmer, it makes life and the work a bit easier. Because trying to find your specific purpose in this life before you start doing life, you will never get it. You will never make it, because it sends us on a journey that will never be fulfilling. What do I do next? What do I get next? Who do I become next? But if you keep your eyes on the prize, if you keep your eyes on God and bringing glory through your life, God, whatever it is you'll have me do, wherever it is you will have me go and be, even when I don't want to be there, even when I don't like what it looks like, I feel the presence of you in it. And I know in this season, this is right where you want me planted. So this is where I'm going to grow, right? And I'm not going to just be that another pretty face. I'm going to know that everything comes from within, and the beauty is within me because you created me. You know how many hairs I have on my head. You know things about me that I don't. You know when I will go left before I do, right? So that is your purpose. That's my opinion. That is our purpose. And that purpose is what unifies us, what promotes unity, because we're marching to the beat of one drum that is making many sounds. One song that says many things. We may be listening to the same song, right? But we're hearing different things, but those things still align with God's will for not just us, not just ourselves, but others and this world, right? Did I leave anything out? I'm going to stop there, you guys. I'm going to stop right there. And I think the one thing I want to focus on, or want you guys to think about more than anything that I've said here today, is, we're so quick. Maybe two things. Dennis Reynolds said that everything you need is within you. And I want you to really believe that today. And think about that picture of you building a home, buying a home, renting a home, moving to that home, but never putting your things in the home. You place it outside of the home, right? And the other thing is, we get caught up in, I'm not going to change for anybody. And let me tell you, that might be the problem. Because you might not be changing for nobody, not even God, your creator. You may be so stuck in yourself, your ways, your perception, your demons, right? Your pain. And you think that by saying, I'm not going to change for anybody, that is, that's a whole thing. And it is. But what kind of whole thing is it? Is it a whole thing about you that benefits you, that keeps you where you are in your pretty face self? Or is it like it should be, like a breaking of you? Because while you might not have to change who you are, you might have to change how you are, which is equally important. You could be a pretty face, but how do you display it? Right? How do you display it? Are you the trash collector that comes around, instead of picking the trash up, you take it out and you put it on, you leave it at each house? You leave more trash at each house? Think about that one, right? So don't just be another pretty face, you guys. If whatever that looks like to you. And it may not be the pretty face. Don't just drive another pretty car. Don't just buy another big house that will never be a home, because you've not found your home inside. Right? We can take this so many ways. But I'm going to leave you guys with that. So today, 227th day, not just another pretty face. Our quote comes from Kenya Moore, Miss USA of 1992. Everything comes from within. The beauty is within you. Your beauty is within you. Don't doubt it, right? And our affirmation, I will not be trapped by outward appearances. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in yourself, boo. What you see outside, or what you see in the mirror, what you put on. Because whatever you put on outwardly, you can take off. But when you put that thing on inside, it's hard to take it off, whether it's good or bad. If you grow that thing internally and you rest in it, it's hard to break it. It's hard to get out of it, right? So don't be focused on outward appearances, because this is not our home. Your outward appearance, what you see, is not your home. Your home lives inside of you. What's inside of you is what you will take with you, what you came with, right? So I will look beyond to the deeper possibilities. Have the spiritual eyes, mindset, heart, internal spirit to see the deeper possibilities of people, of yourself, of places. We talk about, for those of you who live in Memphis, we talk about Memphis this, Memphis that, this and that. But what you'll find is What you see in Memphis, when you move, you'll see in the next city. Guarantee it. I guarantee it. Try moving. Try me on that one. Try me on that one. I've come to the place where I just get mad at people who talk about Memphis. And I used to be the ones that kind of felt some kind of way about Memphis myself. But Memphis has some beautiful souls in it. Beautiful people. And if we would peel back all the layers of the untruths, the bondage, the pain, the darkness that people say that we have over this city. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, right? And that's in every city. So don't let them get you caught up in saying your city is all that bad. Because if you go somewhere else, it's the same news. It's just, is it being reported? And in most cases, not. They report what they want, when they want, where they want. So you got to be your own reporter, detective, investigator, prayer warrior, right? You got to be all that, all right? So, truth be told, you got to know the truth. All right, so y'all know what we're going to do. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Y'all was quiet today. Y'all always quiet when Brandon's gone. I'm about to feel some kind of way about that. But it's all good. So y'all know what we're going to do, right? We're going to groove right on out of here with these ducks. I've read my all that I need to read, I guess. So y'all keep it real today. Don't be just another pretty face. Feed the ducks. By that, I mean feed your life. Pimping wearing you or you wearing the pimping. You doing life or you doing just another pretty face. Are you another pretty spirit? A pretty soul who knows your purpose, right? And we can understand that we all have the same purpose, right? All right, so y'all feed them ducks. Miss Brenda, Big Mike, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for being so committed to this show. Could not do it without you. So, y'all be blessed. Go feed them ducks.